Can we not get a big hooty-hoo?
Hooty-hoo.
Hooty-hoo. Go Owls. Big week going on at KSU. Introduced a new basketball coach today, Antoine Petway. I hear nothing but positive things about Antoine. We've got a couple of great guests tonight. Cole Loden, who's been with us before, and Travis Bell. Travis may actually be selected in this year's NFL draft.
Big weekend.
So we can't wait to talk to Big Boy about that. Travis is taking up 3 or 4 seats at the bar. He's a big old boy. So look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I guess we need to talk about what happened this week in KSU sports. ATI. Hook us up.
The baseball team went 1-2 this week in their series against Austin P. So it was an okay week.
You missed all my P jokes?
No, I do not. The baseball team is currently playing at Mercer.
Yes.
So
tonight.
And I know everybody who wears yellow and black loves to hate on Liberty, and Liberty will be coming to town this weekend. So get on down to the Shake and catch the 3-game series game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Cool.
The men's tennis team beat Eastern Kentucky and Bellarmine. The women's tennis team beat Eastern Kentucky and Bellarmine.
Sweep.
The lacrosse team lost to Jacksonville, and then they
What are you cheering
beat
about over there?
Stetson.
They won. They finally broke
beat
their losing
Stetson.
streak.
Yes.
Beat them pretty bad, 14-3 or something like that.
They won the game
14-12.
14-12. It was close, but I can tell you this: that team is traveling a lot. In the next 9 days, they go to Charlotte, they go to Virginia, and then they go to Dover, Delaware. So
I've been to Dover, Delaware.
I think I blinked and I missed Dover, Delaware once, but it's a lot of traveling for the lacrosse team. But we wish them well this week.
So they're traveling across the country. Is that what you're saying?
Man, he can just they just come to us.
What else, ATI?
We finished first in the Kennesaw State Invitational. So that was nice.
17
Female golf?
17.
Yes.
Oh, are you on track and field?
Track and
I'm
field.
on track and field.
Okay.
17 champions that week. Yeah.
Yes.
Unbelievable. 1 school record and 17 first place.
17
And
first place.
we lost series 0-3 to North Alabama, and the men's golf team finished 14th in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Got to be nice up here in Charlottesville this time of year.
Hey, the Mega Schmidt was the ASUN golfer of the week, and she shot a 5-under right around the corner here at Pine Tree.
Yep.
Great tournament there, and they start the ASUN tournament on Sunday. I think it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So good luck to the girls. They'll be in Huntsville, Alabama. I didn't even know there were golf courses in Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville's a nice town.
It is a nice town.
Yeah.
It's a rocket town.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Space camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he meant by Rocket Town.
I hope so. Wasn't talking about Rocket Man, Elton John, or anything.
I love me some Elton, though.
Elton's
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
like Elton John.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well, let's get on with the other stuff. Robert, you want to do a commercial before we go into?
Man, I was already ready for you. Let's
Go
go
for it.
Bearcat. Do you need a delivery right now? Then go now, please. Bearcat Express has expedited shipping on hand-carried items, car, van, or pickup. Whether it's from Atlanta to Athens, Dothan to Augusta, Memphis to Charlotte, ATI walking across the screen.
Walk right across the screen.
I guess he figures since he's got the thing up, but sorry about that. Let me continue here. Whether your passport's still on the dresser, the 5-wood isn't in your bag, or you have a dog that hates to fly, Bearcat Express with their live tracking capabilities is the team to turn to. We are the go-to courier in the Southeast. Check us out at BearcatExpress.com.
Oh, yeah. Well, you said introduce him. So backed by popular demand, mostly my demand, is our good friend Cole Loden. How about a big hooty-hoo for Cole Loden? That's mighty nice, Cole.
I know,
Let me
embarrassing.
let me see that arm. Let me see
Look
look at that arm, Robert.
Gone.
You
I'm
see that arm?
retired.
Look at that.
I'm retired. It's gone. Everything's gone.
Don't worry about it. You know who's got it now? Is that wife of yours from carrying that baby.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
He's like a brick now.
Oh, yeah, but, don't mess with a woman who's, had a baby in the last 2 years because, she's got that baby.
Yeah.
And,
He turned 6 months today. So
That's awesome.
time is
Today's his
flying by.
hat.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah, thank
He'll
you.
be in college before you know it.
Yeah.
I promise
know where
you
he's
he'll be in
going.
college.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I walk. Anytime we go on walks with him, we walk the football stadium, and I just point to it every time. I was like, "You have no other option but to play here."
This is where you're going, kid.
That's cool. So, Cole, what's been going on in your life other than being a dad?
I mean, that's pretty much it. I go to get up for work all day, and then come home and be a husband and father. So I'm loving it. So.
Greatest job in the world.
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Biggest blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, big spring game coming up on Friday night.
Yeah.
Tell us what goes on in spring practice, and is it as rigorous as being a part of a regular season?
So spring ball, it's not as rigorous, I would say, because you have breaks. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday practices with, I think, a couple mix-in Saturday scrimmages. So it's not Monday through Friday grind, but it is like all out, full contact to the ground. So that's pretty tough. Like they're not trying to like save anybody from injury. It's let's see what this player can do or this player can do. And spring ball, I think, is one of the most important times for athletes that are trying to make a spot on the roster and in the starting lineup, because it's just open season. Spring, when you get to fall camp, season's only a month away. Like, you kind of got an idea who your starters are and your ones and
Right.
twos. So spring ball, it's just a bloodbath because it's guys fighting for positions. There's no friends out there on the field. So it gets pretty filthy out there.
So let me ask you this: the practice or the game is this weekend. How long do you practice for leading up to the game?
I think you're allowed. The NCAA changes it all the time.
And we're not trying to get anybody in trouble. Just
Yeah.
an estimation.
I
of
think
how
you
much
can
work.
have 15 or 14 organized spring practices
Before the spring game?
before the spring game.
No, do they call it the K game, or they just call
I think they just
spring
call it the
game?
black and gold.
Black and gold game?
Yeah.
And are there any practices after that game?
No.
That's
No,
the end
so-
of spring
so
practice.
It's 14 practices. They lead up to that game, and then from that game, you are off for the next 3 months.
I mean, you have training the whole time, like
Always,
off-season
always.
training. Like, you're in the weight room and you do field work, and I think you can do a couple. You can't have a football out there if there's coaches out there. There can't be a football, but you can do like drills and stuff like that. But there's no organized practices after that till fall camp.
Wow.
When does fall camp start? Because you start playing in fall. So
Yeah, it starts. I think it starts August 1st. Is right around when fall camp starts. So yeah.
And that's like you said it earlier, but it didn't sound right to me. So you only got like a month. before
Yeah,
your
well,
first
as soon
season-
as
start of the
fall
season?
camp starts, like you have like a month and a half before
Wow.
games start. So but fall camp's a grind. Like, you practice every single day. They keep dropping that down in numbers too. So it's really hard to get prepared. Like, you do as much film work as possible because you're not getting live reps out there on the field. So that's why Coach Bo harps, and I know he's harping on them right now for spring practice. There's so many limited opportunities. So if you waste one, it's gone. You're not getting it back, and you need as many days as possible. So he emphasizes to stack days and never let a day go by where you take for granted or you don't show up because you have so few opportunities to get ready. That's why the first game is always like, you have no idea what's going to happen that first game because you're still figuring out your team. You're still figuring out how to play ball and getting used to everything. So
But like,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you had said it was kind of a bloodbath in the spring.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
you're trying to plant that seed to a coach who isn't going to have a real practice for 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm your guy. Pencil me in for the next 3 months. And then, of
Yeah.
course, you have fall practice to prove that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the off season, as soon as season ends and you come back in January, they work you to death. Like, they're trying to get you stronger, faster, more
Not
physical.
really to death. They really want you to succeed.
But yeah, they
It's
work.
strenuous.
They work you, and then all that work has to pay off in spring practice. Like, you can be the best off-season trainer there is, but are you going to show up when spring ball hits? And so it's pivotal for the guys that are trying to make a starting spot to perform in spring. That way,
Absolutely.
when fall comes, like I said, season's right around the corner, so they already have an idea. So when fall camp comes, if you're not in the ones and twos, you have very little time to prove yourself trustworthy to a coach with season right around the corner. So it's crucial that you perform.
Especially
right
when you're
now.
going through training and you can't even use a football.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's crucial right now for the guys.
But it's even more crucial this year, isn't it? Because because of the change in offense, going from a straight triple wing to a somewhat of a RPO. Yeah.
Which is why the spring game, and I know we're going to touch on that in a little bit, I might jump ahead, but the spring game is going to be so interesting because of the offensive change. Usually you would just see a base offense, base defense in the spring game because they don't want to show too much. This spring game, they're going to have to bring all the plays out because these guys are learning a whole new offense and learning how to play together. And like I said, you can't waste a day, and they're going to use that spring game as another day. Usually it was just a day to, like, perform in front of the fans. Like, obviously it's like a practice for us, like trying to get everything dialed up. But this one is going to be like a serious practice where we're not going to try to hide anything. They're probably not going to stay in base. They're going to run the plays you're going to see in season a lot because they're still getting used to all the new offense formations, the defense. I guess it's got a new defense coordinator. So, yeah, the spring game is going to be like an actual Kennesaw game, whereas the boring Kennesaw spring game where it's just base defense, base offense, same plays. They run through 1s, 2s, and 3s, and it's the same sort of plays. I mean, it's boring for us. It's probably fun for the fans because
what you're saying makes a lot of sense. You know, if we're going into a season and for the first time ever we're going to have a slot wide receiver, well, we need to have a lot of plays on your spring game where that's showing, you know, who is going to be my number one starting fall practice. So
and it's hilarious because I've been out of it, so I haven't been able to see the offense, and they practice in the morning now, so I can't go because I'm at work, which is really frustrating. But I asked Isaac, who's in his 12th year with the program, I was like, has anybody beat you out at running back yet? He was like, I'm not a running back anymore. I'm a slot receiver. I was like, that is so weird to hear. Like, Kennesaw State football has a slot receiver. So
that's wild.
That's cool.
So from a player perspective, what would you want to get out of spring? And if you were a coach, what do you want to see in the spring?
As a player, just consistency, because it goes hand in hand. Coaches are looking for who can they trust. That's the biggest thing when they want to know about a starter. You could be the best athlete out there, but if they can't trust you, you're not starting. So as an athlete, how do you show them that you're trustworthy? It's just your consistency. Like, can I show up every day making plays, not making the same mistake twice? So that was my biggest thing in spring. Going into spring, I was like, I want to show them that I'm still physical. And then I want to show them that I'm consistent. And anytime they coach me up, like, hey, that's wrong, don't do it like that, I was going to make sure that I didn't do the same mistake twice. So that was.
You're not going to argue with them in that spring game.
No.
What do you mean?
No, it's it's always yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. So
you know, we had a guy on the first show. He was a former basketball coach, and we were talking about the Hawks game last night, and I'm just wondering how much effort and intensity, like, you know, you might not show this or this, but, you know, they're watching that on that field, correct? All those coaches, you know, maybe he didn't make this play or this play, but man, he worked really hard in the 2 weeks leading up to it, and you know, was there.
Yeah, and that's all about becoming trustworthy. It's like once you show that they can trust you, like when I was the dude back there at the defense, finally, like I worked my way up to where I was trusted by the coaches. And I would mess up, and all of a sudden it wasn't Cole messed up. It was like, oh, he didn't have a good rep. Instead of like he screwed up, it was like he just didn't have a good rep. We know that's not him.
Right.
So that's what's so crucial about spring is to build that trust to where all of a sudden your bad plays become that's not him. That was just a bad rep. Instead of like, oh, he's a screw up.
He's a bonehead who's never going to get this right.
And they don't miss anything. They might miss it on the field, but they go back and watch film for hours, and you come in the next morning.
Lots of angles.
Yeah, you come back in the next morning because you can get it up on your phone or iPad or laptop, and you can see, you're like, oh, they're going to see that. And you just come in the meeting room prepared like, oh, they're going to rip me for this play. So, yeah, they don't miss anything.
Do you think it's even more important for the new guys that haven't been around and the transfers that have come in from Wofford and Jacksonville State? I mean, these big old linemen.
Yeah.
What's disgusting?
Oh, just hearing those names.
Oh.
But at least they're an owl now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's only part of them you don't trust.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just with all the newness, it's just for freshmen and just all the new guys, new recruits, new transfers. I think it's just open season because they know, like, it's a fresh start for everybody. Even for, like, who we just talked about, Isaac Foster, it's in his 30th year there. It's a fresh start for him, too. So it's a new offense. It's a new defense. It's a new team. It's a new division that they're going into. So I think it's just open season, which probably made spring ball even more of a bloodbath and everybody going after spots. So
it's a lot of fun, though. There's a lot of times where a team knows 85% of their starting lineup, whether it be, a traveling softball team. Hey, we're only looking for a first baseman and a left-handed pitcher or something like that.
Yeah.
Going into this spring game, there's a lot of questions with the new style. So
Yeah.
it should be really fun.
yeah, which is why everybody should come out to the spring game because no one knows what to expect right now. So
Absolutely.
7 o'clock Friday night, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo, baby. I'll be there. Are you
Right
coming?
around the corner. Technically, the daughter's birthday is tomorrow and my anniversary is Saturday, so I might have to actually do something wonderful with my wife on Friday night.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
It's a good excuse.
Yeah.
It's a good excuse if you have that one.
I have no daughter and I have no wife, so I'll be there. Makes it pretty simple. Weather's supposed to be nice. Do you remember anything particular from a spring practice that steps out for you?
They all just gel together. I was there for so long. Probably just, again, playing with my brother over there, like seeing him make plays in spring was always hilarious.
Is he graduated now?
He graduates in May.
Okay, so he's not at spring practice.
No, he's not at spring practice. So just playing with him in spring, getting to cherish those moments. There was always a lot of fights in spring ball, so those were always fun. So yeah, and just being able to compete, like fall camp, they try to protect some guys sometimes, and like you don't let them go to the ground or like rough them up as much, but it's kind of fun in spring where it's like, all right, go for it, go at each other, and like your best friends on the other side of the ball, and you just get to hit them as hard as you want, laugh on.
Quarterbacks are still wearing jerseys.
They're still not touched, right?
I don't think they're in red jerseys to where they can't be touched. Like I think spring, they let him go at it. Sometimes, like obviously, like Chandler Burks, when he was going into his fifth year, fourth and fifth year, and he's an All-American. You know what he can do. He doesn't need to be in a normal jersey getting hit.
Correct.
But I think with, again, the new offense, new defense, I think everyone is up for grabs right now. So I don't think any quarterback is in a jersey at practice. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
So how many quarterbacks do you think we'll see in action on?
I've heard. I know Murph because I played with him, and D'Lo, and all the other guys that I got to play with. You'll see all them, and I heard there's a freshman that's amazing. I haven't got to see him in action, but I heard he's really good. But you'll see
at least 4, maybe up to 6 or 7.
4 for sure, because they rotate. The spring game they go 1-2, 1-2, and then like 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and then in those threes you get mixed up. Like they'll mix in like the 4th and 5th strings.
Right.
So you'll probably see 5 quarterbacks.
Okay, as a past player, what's the one thing you're going to look for?
The defense. I want to see how this new defense coordinator, like what is his defensive scheme, and I want to see if the defense is still flying to the ball. That's what made us great defenses in the past. We might not have run the play right, but we were all running to the ball. So that's what a defensive player looks for. Is everybody like busting their back to get to the ball, and they have energy? And I'm just curious on what his scheme is.
Are you going to be down on the field, or are you going to be up in the stands?
I might be able to talk to Bo, but probably not. I'll probably be in the stands with my wife and baby.
Well, if you're sitting with Will, I want to sit with you because I want to learn. I want you to teach me about what's going on with the defense, so we can talk about it on the show next fall.
And it's always
interesting when you get to sit with somebody
that's
been
there,
who really understands the system. Of now, forget about all that. Just watch this one guy.
Yeah, you know what the funniest thing about spring is? Coach Bo is like on the field. So usually when you mess up, he's like kind of off in the distance. You can hear him screaming. You're like, I'm in trouble. But like in the spring, you're like, oh, he's right behind me screaming at me. So
that's funny.
That is funny. Man, we appreciate you coming back on, bringing your wife and baby up. Love always seeing you in the audience. Yeah. You live fairly close by, right?
Oh yeah, right down the road.
Yeah.
Hey, just as another one, I know we asked you this question a few months back, but why KSU? If somebody's watching right now and they're thinking, where should I go to school?
For me personally, are we asking from an athletic standpoint or just as like in general?
Whatever you'd like to tell us.
I'll just say from an athletic standpoint, because that's what brought me here, is throughout the recruiting process, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. They act like you're their number one pick. They act like you're the greatest thing ever. And then when it comes to signing or, like, putting out an offer, they act like they don't know you. And Kennesaw was the only one that was straight up. The coaches were honest with me from the start, and they were like, hey, we got 2 guys ahead of you right now. We're going to offer you a preferred walk-on. If those guys change their commitment, then you're in. If not, then you're a preferred walk-on. I was like, well, thank you for being the first coaches ever to be up front. And they showed me their recruiting board, showed me my name on it, showed me what they had me as, and I thought if I was going to play for a team that I wanted to trust the coaches, and they were excited about me, they wanted me, and they just were up front that they couldn't give me a scholarship at the time. Where other coaches were like, hey, we're gonna give you an offer next week. We're gonna get an offer in 2 weeks. That week would come up.
I think there was a problem with the phone.
Yeah, it would come up like 2 weeks. I'd be like, hey, what's up with that offer? And they'll be like, oh yeah, next week, and then the next week, and the next week. So Kennesaw was the only one straight up. And then there was some just like God things that led me to Kennesaw. Like I wanted to be in business. The business school was called Cole School of Business. And then
Michael Cole.
My position coach that I loved in high school was Coach Chastain. Kennesaw was on Chastain Road. And I was like, you know what? God might just be calling me to this program. So, yeah. And it's a beautiful campus, beautiful atmosphere. You're 15 minutes away from the Braves Stadium. You're right there at the Atlanta Falcons Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You're outside of the city, but you can still experience the city life as a college student, which is awesome. So I came from a small town, so getting able to experience the city but not live in the craziness of it was awesome. So from a campus perspective, and it's so new. The dorms are new. That's huge. You have your own bathroom. That's amazing
at college. That doesn't happen at a lot of
yeah, no, it doesn't.
A lot of college. So are you a big sports fan in general?
You know, probably not as much as people would think I am, since I played the sports, and I always defend myself because I have like one of my best friends, Jake Lasser, can name statistics, can name what the team's doing at the time, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I was there, I played it, so it's hard to watch it from home. If I'm there in person, I'm all in. But tracking teams year round, unless they're Kennesaw State, probably not going to track them year round.
It's also hard to track teams when you're burping your baby.
yeah.
But also a great way to spend a Saturday, sitting there rocking and watching.
Oh, that's why I love the Masters. You just take a nap with them, wake up, and they're still going. So it was awesome.
And Jim Nance is always talking perfectly, so you can fall asleep.
I love Jim Nance.
It was awesome, yeah.
Jim Nance is to broadcasting what Tiger Woods is to golf. I think Jim Nance is awesome. Well, I guess we can let Cole go and be a dad. But have you got any other questions for him?
I do not right now, but I look forward to having you back, and hopefully before the season starts, you can break down whatever you and Chuck saw on Friday night if I'm not able to make it, and your outlook for the season.
Well, thank y'all so much for having me, and really appreciate all the support for Kennesaw Athletics. I think y'all are in and at a good time, because Kennesaw is only going to go up and up, and for y'all to be supportive while we're on the come up is just awesome to me, so we're really grateful for y'all.
And you're going to be there with us, right?
Absolutely.
And let me just say thank you to yourself, because without your phone book, we wouldn't have had as many interesting shows.
Jake was awesome when he was on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, and we expect nothing less of Travis.
Oh, yeah.
Travis's bar is
You
really
got some
high.
big shoes to fill, brother.
You got a good one. We came in together, and he's been one of my best buds throughout it all. So he's really an incredible man, an incredible player. So he's a good one.
Well, let's get him on here and talk about it. Cole, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Have a good day, sir.
Big hand for Cole. Hey, Larry, if one of you or Adam could let Courtney have your earphones just so she can hear a little bit about what's going on, because she was sitting there like she can't hear anything. All right? Just for a little bit.
Supreme Lending?
I understand what he said. He wants one of us to give Courtney our phone so that she can hear what's going on.
Your headphones.
Oh, my headphones.
Come on in, Travis. Let's get a commercial out of the way.
All right, I'll do Supreme Lending. Supreme Lending was founded in 1999 with one goal in mind, to improve the mortgage process. Since then, we've been doing just that. Here we deliver exceptional service and some of the fastest turn times in the industry. Our team will stay in touch with you throughout the process and get your home closed quickly and conveniently. Whether you are buying or refinancing, our goal is to have your loan clear to close in 30 days or less so that you can focus on all the other things you need to. Whether it's your first mortgage or your 1,000th, make it supreme. Find us on the web at alvinjameson.com or give us a call at 865-357-6500.
Thank you, Alvin Jamieson and Supreme Lending, for being a sponsor always of KSU Sports at the KSU Owls Show. Once again, a big hootie hoo for our good friend Travis Bell.
How are you, sir?
Now that's cool. That's the first guy I've ever seen clap for himself. I love that.
Absolutely,
That's the man right there. That's
Give
awesome.
yourself a pat on the back sometimes.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Hey, you know, sometimes you're the only person who's willing to cross that road, and you're like, hey, I'm okay with that. I'll give myself a clap.
And I got to say this: there's never been a bigger guy in that chair.
I'm looking. I'm feeling like Cole standing here looking over my shoulder while I'm talking to him.
Well, move Cole out.
No, I don't want Cole laying behind me either. That's even more odd.
Cole is a great guest. Great guest. Travis, welcome, buddy.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
How do you feel not being at spring practice?
It kind of feels awkward, to be totally honest with you, man, because around this time I'm usually playing ball, so it's something I'm just gonna have to get used to.
So now, did you play 4 or 5 years?
I played 5.
You played 5. So you've been in this game 5 times.
Yes, sir. A lot of ball, man. A lot of ball.
But, and it is something you miss. Will you be able to watch it? Or are you planning on going down to watch it?
Yes, sir. I plan on going and watching it, most definitely.
Very nice. All right, so I always start out with a weird question about your history, but when I found yours, man, I was really confused.
Hang on tight.
Yeah, hang on tight. So, I always ask a good high school question. Cole told me a story about him running somebody over on the side of the road if they were wearing the wrong jersey. I got 2 questions for you. One, what was your record in high school versus your largest rival, Robert E. Lee?
You cut me deep with that one.
I know.
That's a real rival.
That's
right
our
there.
job.
That is a rival. I know that's your big one.
I want to say 3-1.
3-1. How do we cut them deep? You're dominating. That's good. So, all those people out there. Now, my next question is the very interesting one. I've never had a chance to ask this. How do you feel about your name changes? Are you aware about all of the school name changes?
No.
So Montgomery, he's from Montgomery, Alabama, and you went to Jefferson Davis High School, and your number 1 rival was Robert E. Lee High School. But those high schools will never have those names anymore. They've been changed. Robert E. Lee is now Dr. Percy L. Julian High School, and your alma mater of Jefferson Davis is now called JAG in honor of Judge Frank Johnson, Ralph Abernathy, and the Reverend Robert Grates.
I didn't know that, to be honest with you. I
You're
knew
good with it?
I knew the names were changing, but I didn't know the names. But I mean, I wouldn't say I really feel some type of way about it, man.
Okay, it didn't affect you either way, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
and I
matter.
say-
You're still rooting for the same team.
Say,
Yeah.
let's
Long
look
as
forward.
long-
I'm not going back.
Long as the colors don't change, I don't mind, man.
Well, there you go. I think your colors will still be the
What was the
exact
school?
same.
What was the school colors?
Gold and green.
Gold and green.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
So I bleed gold, man. I bleed that.
So let me ask you this: going back to your home, how was it your sophomore year when you got to go play in front of the home folks?
Man, that was a great experience,
I
man.
can only imagine.
I had a lot of friends and family there, supporting me. So I just wanted to go out there and just try to ball, man. Just try to ball out. So
And you did.
yeah, that was a real important moment in my college career. So.
Is that stadium the one right there on 85?
Yes, sir.
I've been driven by that many times.
Yeah, I've driven by it many times too. I thought it was great though that you came from Montgomery and you had them on your schedule your freshman and sophomore years, and you actually got to do that road trip.
Yeah, man, that was a great experience, man. I loved it, man.
Were you getting phone calls from mom like, hey, so-and-so needs tickets too. So-and-so needs some more tickets.
My mom actually came on the bus after the game.
I love it.
And she showed out,
Love
man.
it.
I had to tell her, Mom, go, please get off the bus. I'll call you when we head up the road.
Mom
I
on the bus. You got to love that. So tell us about your recruiting process. How did you get recruited to Kennesaw?
Honestly, a recruiter he contacted me and he told me he was going to this convention, this coaching convention, and he was going put my tape out there to some of the coaches because I was underrated in high school. A lot of teams came in, a lot of big schools came in, asked me if I could play linebacker, and I just wasn't comfortable, just switching positions. I've been playing this position my whole life.
Right.
So I had just got out of school, I think, and he did what he said he was going to do. He went to that convention, showed him my film, and Coach Downey, he called me while he was at the convention, and they offered me on the spot, man. So it was a blessing. I was like, Kennesaw? I don't know about no. I never heard of Kennesaw, so I ended up coming up here,
Quick
man.
Google search.
Yeah, Google search, man. I ended up coming up here, and I seen the atmosphere, man. It was just amazing, and I was overall sold as soon as I got up here, so it was great.
What other schools contacted you?
Western Carolina.
Oh, the Catamounts. Well, the track coach was from Cade McDaniel. Oh, you weren't here last week.
I was not here.
He was from Western Carolina, right? Yeah.
My first offer was from Idaho. That was my very first
The
offer.
Vandals.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Potatoes.
No, it's the coolest name in the world. What are they? The Vandals.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be a Vandal, man, but
I'm glad you weren't.
yeah, I'm glad I weren't too. So
Montgomery's a
everything
fairly big city, but it's not Atlanta.
happened. No, it's definitely not Atlanta. The traffic is not as bad, so that's a plus.
He's a lot closer to the beach from home, though.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful beaches down in South Alabama.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's some weird. I wish Mark Warr was still here. Mark, one of my good friends, came by between shows, and we ate at the most unusual barbecue place in Montgomery on our way down to the beach one year. And I'd give anything if I could remember the name of it, but it was like just this little
Small little hut.
grease shack.
Yeah.
It's right after you go around
So
the big
incredibly
curve
good, though.
and get on 65 South, and you take the first left, or you get off the first exit, take a left. It's down there on the left.
Like a little hole in the wall.
Little hole in the
spot
wall
with some
restaurant.
great food,
That's some good times, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. So you chose Kennesaw. I mean, it's a growing school, but you said earlier that you miss it, but you still got a shot to go. Didn't you just participate in Pro Day the other day?
Yes, sir, I did. I did a okay job.
You did great with the reps on the bench press, right?
Yes, sir.
30, 32 was it?
Nah, it was 30. Should have
30?
been 32, but
Yeah.
it was 30.
They,
I'll take 30.
they cheat you out of two? Come on.
Nah, they just wasn't counting for me, so I wasn't able to keep up count, so I ain't know how many reps I had pushed out.
You're just pumping them out at that point.
I'm just going.
you
Everybody
can
just
do.
cheering me on.
No,
I'm just
I
going.
can only imagine. When you're doing that many, it's like, hey, was that 27? No, I'm getting this. I'm getting this thing loose
That's
as many
exactly
times as I
how it
can.
was.
That's
exactly
awesome.
how it was.
So, do you know who the pro scouts were there? Have any of those reached out to you, or?
Yeah, I've been talking to close to half of the NFL, probably a little bit more. I got a visit with the Bears on the 17th, so I'll be going up there.
Oh wow, that's Monday, right?
Yeah. I got a top 30 visit, so that's big for a guy like me coming from a small school.
Yeah, that's cool. How cool would that be to get drafted? Is that something you dream of, or?
That's a blessing, man. I visioned it every time I step out on the field, and I'm putting in that work, and I'm going to practice and practicing with Coach Bo, man. He'll make a man out of you. So I'm like, man, this got to work out for me, man. I'm giving it all I got. I'm doing everything he tells me to do, trying to do things the right way. And I'll behold, man, I'm in this position that I'm in today, just blessed, So I'm just really just living a dream.
Yeah.
It's almost a good thing you're not playing in the spring game. Could you imagine? You got all this anticipation of what's going on a week from now. Yeah, I can only imagine you're ready to fast forward 2 weeks from now.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm ready for that draft day to come up, man. That's what I'm waiting on.
Have you visited with any other pro teams?
Nah, I supposed to. I had a visit set up with the Giants, but I don't know how that's going right now. So
Yeah.
just one for right now.
You have an agent?
Yes, sir. I have an agent.
Well, I was going to see if we could get in on that gig, but I guess we.
No, Larry's already signed him.
Larry's already signed. Way to
Larry's
go,
the
Larry.
agent.
Larry's his agent. That's cool. So tell us, you play defensive line, more tackle or end?
Tackle, more tackle, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can play everything. I can play the whole D line,
Yeah. All by yourself?
all by myself.
Wow,
I don't
that's
need
pretty.
nobody.
Somebody ought to be drafting you then if you can play it all by yourself.
So if you had to compare yourself, I know who, just based on what I read and what I saw when you walked up and everything, who is most like you in the NFL? Obviously, in a perfect scenario, but whose game do you kind of patent yourself off of, or something like that?
I'm gonna have to say Grady.
Big Grady. I like it.
I would say AD, man, but I don't think it's gonna be another AD soon, man.
AD is incredible.
He's a freak, man.
I don't get a lot of things right on draft day, but I can remember watching that draft, and he went all the way to the second round. And I thought to myself, what are these teams watching? I know I don't know anything, but clearly this guy is better than everything else. And
yeah, AD.
Kudos to the Rams for
guys
second round pick.
Guys like him and Grady. They opened up the doors for guys like me, smaller D linemen. So I appreciate them for that. They should get their flowers for that. So.
They get plenty of flowers.
Plenty of flowers. Bouquet.
Got flowers everywhere.
I was watching NFL draft last night, mock draft, and they kept referring to Grady Jarrett as Grady Jackson. I said, who is Grady Jackson? I said, if you're on the NFL Network, you ought to know who Grady Jarrett is.
Yeah, Grady's a beast, and I think on a slightly different note, he might actually have some running mates this year to help him do some great things.
Yeah, man.
So. Let me ask you this: You're a large man.
305.
315.
315. 315. Don't read the thing online and think he's only 305. He's looking svelte at 315. I know these pro guys are thinking I can throw another 15 on him real quick.
Nah, actually, I'm probably going to end up losing 5 to 10 pounds because they don't want me that big. They want me to be quick and explosive.
Quicker. Sure. When's the biggest meal of the week for you? If you're playing at noon on a Saturday, is your biggest meal the next day, or is it the day before, or is it the day of, or
It's most definitely the day of.
You're eating big the day of.
Yeah.
And at a 12 o'clock kickoff, what time is that? Is that 6 in the morning or something crazy?
Nah, it's really after the game.
Okay, after the game.
After the game.
I eat big after the game.
Okay.
That's how I reward myself.
I was already getting an upset stomach thinking about you eating big and then having to get out there and play.
Nah, I wouldn't be able to do
And
that.
hurling on the defensive line.
Not a lot of food before the game?
Yeah, not a lot of food before the game. I was never like a breakfast type of guy, so
right.
I don't really eat breakfast. But now I got to start learning how to, eat breakfast and control my appetite during the day.
Don't worry, the Packers, the Cardinals, or the Bears are going to teach you all that stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully I have a nutritionist or something like that.
I was going to say, do you have a nutritionist as part of your agent package?
Nah, no nutritionist.
Robert, you got any experience in nutrition?
No.
I'm trying to get us a job here with you.
Hey,
Travis.
You got any suggestions? I'm willing to listen. Man.
There you go.
We're not going to give you any suggestions on nutrition today.
That would be viable anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Chuck's nutrition would be, you should eat the Big 16 burger.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. Courtney Brown is on the volleyball team at KSU. She's sitting there in the audience, and we got headphones on, and she's listening to all these questions. She's, how would I answer that? How would I answer that? You're going to find out next Wednesday.
Why would I have already agreed to this?
Yeah, well, there's cash involved. She paid me some, but that's okay.
So growing up as an Alabama man in South Alabama, does that make you an Auburn guy? Before obviously, you only bleed black and gold at this point.
Yeah, that most definitely make me an Auburn guy, man. A lot of people ask me, "You're not a Roll Tide guy?" Nah, not quite, man. I'm an Auburn fan. I went to every Auburn camp when I was young.
Did you really?
Every Auburn camp.
Now, what year were you born?
1998.
98. So you were 12 years old when Cam Newton was doing his thing. So you've seen it. You've seen a lot of it.
Yeah, I've been around. Yep.
The greatest athlete I've ever seen was Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo Jackson is a beast, man. I seen him play on YouTube when he was running so hard and so fast. The guy tackled him from the back. I think he grabbed his leg and ripped his hip out of place. And
correct. That's his
explosiveness.
That's the play that ended his career. It was against the Bengals, and they say that every person in the world would have fallen down on the tackle, but because Bo was so powerful, he took one more step, and that one step is what ripped his hip out, and he was never the same guy. Had he just been a normal guy, he'd have fallen down, and he'd have dominated for another 20 years.
And he was great in every sport, too. He wasn't just football. I saw him play at Boardwalk and Baseball down in Kissimmee, Florida, and he hit a baseball that went over the 400-foot fence, and it was still going up.
First.
I've never seen see the ball hit that far before in my life.
Baseball was my first love, man. I'm a
was
lefty.
it really?
I'm a lefty, man. I played first base, and I can hit a little bit. If I make contact, he's out of here.
Throw lefty, too? Or
Yes,
just
sir.
hit
I do
lefty?
everything.
Do you?
Everything lefty. Yes,
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Bo was the man. I'll never forget him snapping it over his, strike out and get mad at himself.
Breaking that
Did he
bat
just
over
break
his
a
leg.
bat over his
sir.
knee?
Oh, right over his head.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. So, we have a couple of crazy questions for you. We'll go ahead and get one of them out of the way.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Who's the most important? Is that the word we use?
We use famous.
Who's the most famous person in your cell phone?
The most famous person. in
And
my
don't say
cell
Cole. Don't
phone.
say.
Yeah, don't say Cole
Don't
Loden.
say Cole Loden because
Not go
his
there.
head would be so big.
Honestly, it probably would have to be Cole at this.
Cole,
at
did
this
you
moment.
hear that? Here,
Cole
can
is
you
my
hear
guy,
us?
man.
Well, I don't know. I think he might just be the nicest guy we've ever had on here. But
Nah, everybody know Cole, man.
no, I know everybody
He's like a
knows him, but-
celebrity.
So we
Everybody-
asked
You're
Cole.
the
We asked him who was the
greatest
most
person in
famous
his
person in his phone. He said Cole Loden.
I knew he was gonna do that. Just take the credit, bro.
I'm just going to jump out on a small thing. Cole Loden will always be in your top 5. There's no doubt about that. But I have a feeling in, I'm going to say 15, 16 days, you're going to have a new number in that phone. It's like,
Yes,
who's
sir.
that? He's the general manager for the Seahawks.
Or the
something
Chicago
great.
Bears.
Somebody.
If you had your choice to go play wherever you wanted to play, do you have a favorite NFL team? Or at this point, I just want to go?
At this point, I just want to go, but if I had to pick, it would be the Rams.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love to be mentored and play beside a guy like AD.
How awesome would that be? Obviously, that would be.
They had a really, really good defense that year. They had, what's the guy that went to Buffalo?
The linebacker.
The DM,
Linebacker.
Miller.
Von
Yeah,
Miller.
Von Miller.
Yeah, he would have been a good one to train under, too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so are you a 3 technique?
I'm a football player, man. Wherever you want to put me, I just give me a role to play, and I'm gonna play that role.
I love it.
I love that. I love that.
And that's what we were talking about earlier when Cole was on. Effort and intensity.
Yes.
At some point in time, bring your lunchbox and show up and prove that you want it more than the guy across from you.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, now do you I had a great question. I just blanked. When did you have a chance to interview with Chicago in terms of just talking, or did they come up and talk to you, do the scouts? How does that work on Pro Day?
I've been talking to the Bears since probably like the middle of the season, close to the
Oh,
beginning
really?
of the season last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we was in contact. They was coming to the practices and things of that nature. They told me they was interested in me. And probably last week I did a Zoom meeting with the assistant D-line coach, Coach Justin Hines. And we just talked X's and O's, and we talked about life and things of that nature. And then right after that, my agent hit me up, and he was like, man, they love you. They want you to come up there for a visit. So hopefully, everything goes as planned.
Man, now I got a reason to watch the draft past the first round. Are you going to slide up into the first round?
I don't know about that.
Hey,
I couldn't toot my own horn like that. Nah.
just getting your name called would be the
That would
dream
be
come true.
I'll be the first in Kennesaw history. That's a blessing, man. I told my agent make it happen, but if it don't, it don't. But I love for it to happen. I love to be the first person.
I actually know somebody whose son went to Alatoona High School, not too far, and he went to the Citadel and was not drafted last year. But the day after he was not drafted, got a phone call from Harbaugh, became a Raven. the Ravens move it. He's a wide receiver, so he went up, down, and then they can only do that so many times. So they had to offer him, whatever. Belichick grabbed him, and he became a Patriot for the last 8 years, And so, just because they don't call your name is, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that means is that you become a free agent faster.
Yes, sir.
Now, I tell you what they'll laugh at you for in the pros if your mama gets on the bus.
No, I don't think they're going to laugh at him. And I can.
They might kick me and Mama off the bus.
I can see you and your mom doing one of those soup commercials. Who was it that did the soup commercials?
I know with Mama, but no, I'm thinking somebody's going to go to say something to him, and she's going to go, I'm not done talking to my son. You're going to shut up for a second?
She will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what mamas are good for.
We got one more commercial, Robert. Let's get it out of the way before we finish up with Travis Bell.
Modern Image is a locally owned document and photograph scanning company that helps clients secure and use paper files and photos. Whether it's important business files or sentimental family photos and videos, Modern Image is dedicated to helping clients solve problems around paper. Go Owls.
Go Owls. That's a great thing to say. Thank you, David McDonough, for being a sponsor. Look forward to having you on in a couple of weeks when we're doing our own draft show. We're going to draft the first 10 players out of the NFL. I might have to slide you in one of my picks.
I'm going to not do a mock draft, but I'm going to mock the people who are picking when they don't say your name. You're like, clearly this person knows nothing about the
Travis
game.
Bell. Come on. What are you doing?
So you played 5 seasons. I know that one season's really weird. That spring football was a season. But tell me, where was your favorite place to play on the road? But obviously, Fifth Third would be number one. But outside that, is there a road trip that you remember?
Utah when we played Weber
State.
Yes, that was a interesting. That was an amazing trip, man. I love that trip.
Have you ever seen anything like
nah,
that? Yeah.
Never.
I mean,
never.
Those big mountains and all that snow.
Yeah,
That's
the scenery
crazy
was
stuff.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It was great.
Have you been to Chicago before?
No, sir. Haven't been to Chicago.
I can tell you some great pizza places to go eat.
I've been doing my research, man.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
definitely gonna get me a deep dish somewhere.
There you
There
go.
we
You
go.
got to get the deep dish in Chicago. It's a cool place. Man, now that they're that high on you, it just leads me to so many other things. The great places you would get to play, like a Lambeau Field and a Soldier Field, and I'm not that thrilled about Ford play. Have you played in a dome before?
Yes, sir. Little league ball. I played at the Falcon Stadium when I was
Mercedes-Benz?
Yes, sir.
Well, it was the Georgia Dome.
Georgia
then,
Dome
right?
back then.
Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you prefer playing on turf, or do you want to play natural grass?
I would prefer natural grass.
I do too. I hate the turf.
For your speed, for your athleticism, or to save your body? Do you think the
To
other?
save my body.
So you think the turf just you can feel different?
It tears you up, man. Inside and outside. We played Georgia Tech, and I was sliding everywhere, and got in the shower and almost broke my neck, man. I was burning my knees, skint up.
Just from the grass?
Yeah.
So is it
Turf, yeah.
So is it like the way it feels like where you're worried like I might actually like blow my knee out playing on this stuff, or is it the act of hitting the ground where it's harder than?
It's most definitely harder, and I had a lot of ankle injuries on turf. When I play on grass, I usually don't get injured as much. So
Recovery time's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, if you play in Chicago, that means that you're going to play in some cold weather. How are you with that?
Whatever it takes,
He's
man.
tough. Don't worry about this. You're watching this at home. Don't worry about this.
Whatever it takes to be great, man, I'm willing to do. So it don't matter to me.
Yeah.
Snow, rain, sleet, or snow, I'm gonna be prepared.
So you're going to be gathered around the TV on I guess Friday is the second round?
Thursday is the
Just
first
the first
round.
round.
Friday is the second and third rounds, and I believe 4, 5, 6, and 7 is done on Saturday.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do on those 2 days. Like, I hit my agent up. I said, should I go like horseback riding or something? Hopefully, I get a call like that. Like, that'll be awesome. Me riding a horse and I just pick up my phone and it's like, the Bears or somebody.
I've never had anybody say anything like that on this show, and I did not expect it coming
I did
from
not.
you.
I did
I'm
not.
going horseback riding. Leather.
Number one, I feel sorry for the horse. That's the first thing I want to say.
It's a big horse. It's a big horse.
Hopefully it's a
Man's
strong
riding
horse.
a Clydesdale.
But second thing, if you go somewhere like a Miller's Ale House or something, would you just be too nervous, or you just want to get away from it?
Yeah,
and hope you
honestly,
get the
I'm
call?
probably not going to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch.
Well, I will be watching for you, and I have your number in my phone now.
Please do.
So if I hear something,
me
I'll
know.
probably text you before your agent did, because I'll be watching. That's one of my favorite weekends of the year, is watching the draft.
Oh, that's great, man.
I remember watching something. It was a few years ago. It was a offensive lineman. I want to say he was out of Wisconsin, and he was predicted top 10, and I believe went top 10. And they said, "Are you coming? Are you doing this?" I said, "No, I'm going fishing with my dad." He said, "Yeah, I'll find out Sunday when I get home what team I play for." It's like, all right.
They actually invited him to the draft.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
But he didn't want to sit in that room. He didn't want to do anything. He said, "I'm going fishing with my dad. It's what I've been doing my whole life."
I agree with that, man. I agree with that. I'd probably do the same thing if I was a first rounder.
It's something I've always wanted to do ever since they made such a big deal of the draft, like they had it in Nashville a couple of years ago. Over 2 million people there. I mean, I would love to be a part of that. But I'm guessing that you're not a big crowd kind of guy.
Nah, parties and things of that nature, I'm not too into.
Another reason why you need to draft him. Not into all that garbage.
Not in all that, not like a Georgia graduate that may get picked sixth.
Oh,
Could go out driving and get somebody killed, but that's not my man Travis.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, that's cool. So, Robert asked you before about your meal, pregame meal, but when you wake up on a morning, let's say a Tuesday morning, what's your go-to breakfast? What do you got to have for breakfast?
maybe an omelet, an omelet with some waffles.
Two eggs with a little bit of spinach.
Yeah,
Or is this
a
like
little spinach and mushroom.
eight. Do we dissolve the entire 12 egg carton?
Nah, just half. Just
Just
half.
half, just six.
6 eggs.
just
I'll
have-
take 6 eggs. Wow, that's crazy.
That's one thing I'm good at. I can eat you out of a house and a home, man. That's why my mom was trying to get me out.
Do we still have a picture of one of those over there?
we do not.
Did you see that big old burger
Right
that
there,
they had
Larry,
here?
Larry.
Oh,
hand us that right there.
Yeah, the piece of paper right in front of you.
I'm
The burger
tempted.
thing, Larry.
Yeah,
Look,
right
look,
there.
look, right there.
There.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So flip it over. There you go. We just had center on your team.
Cole LaRue.
Cole LaRue for the
tried it?
basketball team. No, he did it.
How long?
He ate it.
Well, wait, yeah. So we had, Will Renfro over there?
Yeah.
So Will is Cole's biggest fan. So we had Cole and Will on the show to see who could eat this the fastest. Now, Caitlin, do you know Caitlin? I introduced you to Caitlin a while ago. She's a
Oh, yes,
javelin
sir.
thrower.
Yeah.
She throws a javelin. She ate this.
Wow.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. Then we get Will and
Mr. LaRue did
and
it
LaRue out
in
here.
10:45. 10 minutes,
10 minutes
45
and
seconds.
49.
He grabbed a fork, and I tell you, when he looked at me with about 3 bites left, he was like, "What do you guys have for dessert?"
Yeah.
It was like, get out of the man's way.
Courtney, could you eat
But
that? No, don't even want to try
I
it.
was like, I have to jump. I can't jump after that.
Now, Courtney's a setter. Yeah, right.
Everybody has to jump, though.
I was
Yeah.
telling my girl I might try it. I don't know. So
Yeah. It's a hour and a half for one person. And what was really funny is we wanted to start the contest at 7:05 because we thought it'd be at least 45 minutes.
Yeah.
He's done it at 7:15. We have to fill in 45 minutes of time with 3 of the basketball players, Chris Youngblood and Chuck Stone and Will
Mr.
Cole
LaRue.
LaRue. Yeah. So it was a fun show. We had a good time doing it. But, yeah, that's a lot of chow. That's a lot of chow.
I believe I can down that. I can down that 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
You think you can beat Cole's time?
Oh yeah, most
We
definitely.
might
But see, this
Well, I'll
is,
tell you what. When you get drafted, we'll bring you back and I'll buy that for you. How's that?
That sounds like a deal, man. That
All
sound
right,
like a
man.
deal right
That'll
there.
be your congrats. And then
Okay.
just remember me when you sign that $10 million contract.
I don't know about 10 mil.
Come buy me an order of fries or something.
Hey, it's all about that second contract.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to work. You're gonna prove to everybody who you are inside and out, and then it just happens for you.
So what are you doing now to stay in shape until the draft?
I'm still training
Every day?
Staying
Oh,
away
yeah.
from the Big 16 is what he's doing to stay in shape.
Yeah, I got to stay away from that, man. I haven't had a burger or fries in a long time.
Take that away. Take that away.
I can't do nothing but stare at it and wonder how it tastes. I'm going to taste you, though.
Yeah, there you go. Would you eat? You wouldn't eat the cardboard. You're not going to eat the
I
cardboard.
ain't going to eat the cardboard.
Okay, good. So 5 years from now, where does Travis Bell want to be?
Hopefully I'm in the league, doing what I love, getting that new contract.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Do you know any players in the league now?
Nah, not really. Oh, yeah. I know Mac Wilson. Deion Hamilton, he was in the league. He just retired. Now he's coaching in the league. He's a linebacker coach for, I think, the Detroit Lions.
He wasn't a KSU guy, though, was he?
Nah, he went to Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were they from Montgomery,
From Montgomery,
area?
yeah. Both of those guys went to Alabama. Henry Ruggs, he went to Alabama.
Ruggs, yeah.
Wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
He got some trouble out in Denver, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Was it Vegas?
It was a Vegas guy.
Oh, yeah, Vegas.
Vegas, that's right, not Denver. I knew it somewhere out there west. But, well, that's cool. Well, I know in 2 weeks from tomorrow I'll be watching the draft, and we'll see what happens. But I know one thing, Robert and I and Larry and ATI all wish you well, and just
Thank you.
hope you get the opportunity to live out your dream. Not many people in this world do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So
And don't forget, as you're living that wonderful dream, drop those seeds whenever you can about KSU and why the next you should come here, because it's
get Garrett for a minute.
It's kind of when we were talking about basketball, but they made March Madness, right? So at the top of that banner in the gym is going to be that 1 year.
Yeah.
And now, no matter whatever happens, if KSU ends up winning 80 national titles, they'll still just be that 2023 that says that's the year we got there. Well, you're going to be the first guy to make it from this program to the next level, and that's a heck of a torch, and we know you're going to walk with it well.
Yes, sir.
And it's an honor for us to have you on the show
big
today.
honor. Very big honor.
Thank you guys for having me on the show. I
So after the
appreciate it.
draft, we'll get you back on and hear the rest of the tale. How's that?
I would love that, man.
All right, cool.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, how about a
Thank
big
you,
hand
sir.
for our buddy Travis Bell? Hooty hoo! That was fun.
That was, I love people. You see this man, and he's a very large man, and some people might just be intimidated. But he's soft spoken. I think he must have gone to the Teddy Roosevelt book of things. Speak softly and carry a big stick.
There you go.
That's that man.
Speaking softly and carrying a big stick, we've got our friend Garrett Bracken on with us. I want to bring Garrett on for a quick minute to tell us about something he went through today that we haven't even touched upon yet. We have a new basketball coach at KSU.
Woo! Yeah,
and
baby.
Mr. Antoine Petway from the University of Alabama. Tell us about the press conference today, Garrett.
It was absolutely amazing. First of all, I have to give props to Nolan. He's the assistant director of communication. He was amazing. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but his introduction was just spotless. It was wonderful. I was like, I had tears coming down my eyes. I'm sorry, I'm a little starstruck over here, just a little bit, as I'm watching volleyball players.
Oh, watch Courtney. I can't wait to have her on next week. She's going to bring Coach Keith with us, you said. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. I won't be able to concentrate. But back to the press conference. He embodies everything that I've been talking about on the show for years. We're raising champions, student-centered coaches, family atmosphere, really looking into the athletes' benefits and making sure that they achieve championships in the classroom, on the field, and making sure that they're investing in the students. And that's what Kat Schwag has said, the president of the university. It's all about the students first and how we can make their lives better and develop them over time. So I'm excited. I wasn't. When we lost Amir, I was heartbroken. But
as we all were.
Well, and just so I can ask you this question, because you already told us something that happened at the very beginning of the press conference, and I'm not a Tom Cruise guy, but I have to go there. He had you at hello.
He
So tell us a second about that.
That's very Chuckish.
It's real though. That's
For-
what
yep.
he was coming in here telling.
Well, for me, when a man stands up and publicly addresses the fact that he gives all glory to God from the start up,
that was his first words behind the microphone.
that was his first words, and then he thanked his wife, and then he thanked the administration. So, to me, that man has his priorities in order. And to have the support of his wife, and he had over 25 people there
Right.
supporting him. And that's huge, because that says a lot about your quality and your character as a man.
Absolutely.
And everything he did there, it's just in line with how I see the rest of the coaches at Kennesaw State University. So I think he's a perfect fit. I think Milton did a great job, as always. And I think there's a great future for Kennesaw men's basketball, as there is for all the other sports like volleyball, track and field, tennis, golf. I mean, we're knocking it out of the park, and a lot of it has to do, especially with the athletes who come to play here, the coaches that they're picking, and the leadership that we have in place at Kennesaw State.
Awesome. A good way to close the show. I wanted to make sure that we mentioned Coach Petway, and I remember him playing at Alabama, so that's really, really cool to have somebody of that caliber here. What a great show we've had between Cole and Travis, and appreciate you sharing the good news with us.
And even a bracket.
About a bracket. Without his bracket, we appreciate bracket. And Courtney, we certainly look forward to hearing your story next week. So,
Amen.
oh, I don't know what Larry's doing. Larry's
Sounds
He got excited.
Scorpions.
Larry's going to the disco or something. I don't know what it was.
That was
But we
not
want to
disco.
appreciate everybody coming out to Miller's Ale House tonight on a Wednesday night for the Owl Show, and we will look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday right back here. Until then, hooty hoo.
Go Owls!
Thanks. Appreciate you, bro.
Sure. Throw me up there real quick.